This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
Well, listen, I'll tell you what's too good. It's this episode. We're into it. The music, the pyro, it's all going down. And we're going to kick SmackDown off with a fun match here. It's going to open with Spike Dudley and Chris Jericho. And they're going to face off against the Dudley Boyz. This is a time, man, look at it. The ruckus crowd. We're in Tacoma, Washington. Signs everywhere. It just felt like an electric environment.
It was back then. The environment back then was amazing. The fans were so attentive, responsive. This is the biggest time in professional wrestling history. This is when the ratings were the highest they ever were, and rightfully so. We were doing some great stuff back then. Great business. The storylines were great. The characters were a lot different than today. Back then you had, a pimp and a porn star, and, you had a bunch of different characters that you don't have today. It seems like today everybody is strictly relying on performance and not much character development. There are some characters, but there aren't a lot.
Yeah, there was definitely a little bit more storytelling involved and a build up and just the comedy of what this show is going to end up being that spans throughout the entire, hour and a half here. It captivates you from the start all the way through, tells that story all the way through to the finish. And what I find is interesting as I'm watching this is Chris Jericho's coming out, kicking off the show. Kurt, we sit here 20 years later. I watched a wrestling program the other night, and he's kicking off the show coming out there, too. It's just amazing, his career.
He is incredible. For him to be able to do what he does at this level, at this point in his life, is unreal. He hasn't skipped a beat since the day he started. He's an amazing talent, and he continues to be.
Yeah, you talk about that entertainment level. I challenge anyone to figure out, 4 or 5 guys better or more entertaining than Chris Jericho has been throughout his career and how he's evolved his character. But this is going to be a fun one, man. We got you guys, you and Stone Cold again. We're going to get into that in a minute. But here it's Chris Jericho. It's Spike Dudley challenging the Dudley Boyz for the tag team titles. Any fun stories working with any of these guys?
Well, I had a lot of fun with all of them. But, Spike Dudley, the kid had the biggest set of balls of anybody I've ever met. The kid was brave, fearless. He was a kamikaze. And, Chris Jericho, one of the most talented performers of all time. He really is. And the Dudley Boyz are the most successful tag team of all time. So I had a lot of fun working with all these guys. They were all incredibly professional, and they were all amazing in the ring.
I just saw recently WWE did kind of a listing of some of the top tag teams of all time, and really not surprising. Edge and Christian are in that list, but so are the Dudley Boyz. They were number 5. And you think about what they've done throughout their tag team career, whether it's in WWE or this was WWF at the time, or ECW or TNA, they just had a lot of longevity and many, many tag team title runs, for those guys.
Yeah, I think they're up to like 25 or 26.
It's an obscene amount of title runs. It's insane if you add them all together.
Yeah, they've had a lot of success in their careers.
Not only do we have these 4 performers, but we got the Hall of Fame, who I would consider a Hall of Fame referee, Earl Hebner, in there with these guys.
Yes. Hebs was great. I loved him. Him and his son were my 2 favorite referees. They knew what they were doing. They wanted to be involved in the whole entire match, not just the finish. They wanted to know what was going on. Just in case we would forget, they could remind us. Those guys were great at refereeing. They were the third wheel in the ring, and they did an awesome job.
Well, here we go. The Dudleys finish off Spike with the 3D. Spike came off the ring there, the top of the ropes awkwardly. He ended up with a hairline fracture, by the way, on that blocked Dudley dog. But Chris Jericho would come back in, clear house after this one. Again, the Dudleys retain the belts, and that'll close down that match. He's checking on Spike here. But, yeah, he suffered a little bit of a hairline fracture from that move coming off the rope.
Yeah, I knew he got hurt. I wasn't sure what it was, but I do remember this.
This stuff happens. It's live, and you just never know and can prepare. If anyone knows about injuries occurring, it's you, Kurt, in matches, and you just don't take anything for granted when you're going out there.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.